What exactly these four people are trying to tell us? Okay, I am moving on to point number two. All the four characters, all these four characters are in fact trying to tell us that they are not perfect people. We always look for perfect people around, somebody who is a symbol of perfect beauty, a symbol of perfect manliness, or you can say perfect woman, a perfect a person in power, a perfect leader. We always look for perfection. Okay, but what we actually get from these four characters is that they are all anti-heroes. Anti-heroes are those people who lack heroic qualities. They don't have heroic qualities, yet they are heroes. Not just heroes, they are like part of classics. Classics means, you can say, it actually transgress the boundaries. Okay, these are in fact considered as the best representations or the best explanations on human condition. You're getting We have seen the four works, and now we will look into the lack in the heroic qualities in these four characters. Okay, so when we look at, they are like, as I've told you, they are like world classics, all the four works. And when we look at these works as a modern, or you can say as a postmodern reader, we feel like they were all imperfect heroes. That is what we feel right now. Okay, and how exactly they are like, imperfect heroes? We'll quickly look into the table. You can just have a quick look at it. Now we will quickly look into the imperfections. Odyssey is a man who has tossed about on the seas after a war, and when finally returns home, no one, not even his wife, recognizes him. That is the story of Odyssey. Okay, I have given the summary of all the four works in the description box. We have no time to explain or to tell the story of these four works. They are like classics. Okay, you have to read it. At least summary, that I have given in the description box. You can go get into the link and you can read them out. Okay, and now so he is Odysseus, story of a person who had a very difficult time after a war, and the moment, after a long struggle, when he gets back to his home, nobody was there to recognize him. That's like, considered as a failure of a man. Yes, so he has achieved so many things in life. He has survived through the hardships and all, but still, nobody was there to recognize him. So next is Hamlet. Hamlet is the story of a young and indecisive prince who is confused even about the worth of his own life. Okay, and the third character is Werther. He is a young man who falls passionately in love with someone else's wife and dies of love in the end. And the fourth character, Don Quixote, is a prevaricating farmer. Prevaricating means somebody is like all the time deviating. Okay, and who believes that he is a knight. He is basically a farmer who believes that he is a knight, Knight, and sets on a rickety horse. Rickety horse means a weak horse, for a series of madcap, means impulsive and hasty, immature adventures. Okay, so these are in fact the stories of these four heroes. Okay, you can see that they are all imperfect. They are all characters which are like imperfect, but in history or in literature, they are identified as, you can see, look at the table. Odysseus is considered as an epic. Hamlet, among the four great tragedies of Shakespeare. The sorrows of young Werther has in fact said to be cultivated. It has in fact cultivated the soil of romanticism in Germany, and Don Quixote is a novel of wanderlust. Wanderlust means an extreme sense of extreme strong desire of travel, okay, or to travel. So, how exactly they are identified in literature, or you can say in among world classics. It's like an entirely different thing, okay, but basically they are the story of those people who are marginalized, okay. So this is the second point, that I have discussed with you after the four authors. Second point is that all these four writings are in fact stories of marginalized anti-heroes, okay. Now I'll quickly, in extension of the second point, I'll quickly look into the concept called marginalized anti-heroes. The marginalized anti-heroes is not my coinage. It is in fact being used by the writer Amanda Michela-Paulo in the second paragraph. I'll just read it out from the text. And a strange thing is, these characters, after whom every modern and postmodern narrative follows, are themselves deeply modern, marginalized anti-heroes. Anti-heroes is basically the concept that we give to those people or those heroes who lack heroic qualities. I continue reading. Today we recognize them and meet them in the light of their popularity, their interpretations and distortions. But who are they really? That is a very important question. They were like marginalized set of people. Okay. Now we will look into the concept called marginalized. Marginalized means to treat people, or you can say group or a concept, as insignificant or peripheral, or you can say like unimportant or powerless set of people. They are the marginalized people. You are getting it? So it is these unimportant and powerless people, their stories celebrated as classics. You can say. So it is basically the story of these powerless people, the story of these unimportant people, the story of these deviant kind of people. That is celebrated as classics. That's an interesting thing. So it is interpreted as the mainstream thoughts, and also you can say it is even made into canons. Okay, it is part of the canonical literature. This is the second last paragraph of page number 9. Odysseus is a filthy shipwrecked sailor. Okay, Hamlet sees ghosts. Don Quixote is walking on clouds, and Werther is ruled by unhealthy passion. Yet they are all classics. They are all heroes of classics.